In this video, I'm going to rate every single BTO project offered in June 2026. To make it more objective, I'll be using a rating system based on each project's location, the potential resale value, the starting asking price, the number of nearby schools, and also the available amenities. But before we dive into the details as usual, let me first explain how my rating system works. Here are some of the criteria that I'm using. For locations, basically I'm rating it depending on the distance to the CBD area by public transportation and whether the location is within 10 minutes walk to the nearest MRT station. And then the next criteria I'm using is based on the resale value of other four-room flat in the area based on recent comparable transactions nearby. Note that I will be adjusting the rating if, let's say, the area will undergo a major transformation based on URA master plan, or if the nearby comparables are really from very old HDBs, then I would just have to adjust the rating because it's not really apple to apple. And then the next criteria I'm using is the estimated starting price of a four-room flat. Obviously, the cheaper the better. Because this video was created before HDB officially launched the June BTO, I will just use an estimate. By the way, if you're wondering whether HDB will increase the BTO prices because of the war in the Middle East, please check out my other videos for my prediction. The next criteria I'm using is the number of nearby schools. I'm just going to rate it based on the number of schools shown on the map that HDB used to launch the BTO. So it's not based on how many schools within 2-kilometer radius, but rather just whatever is being displayed on the HDB map. If it has more schools, obviously it will have more stars. Now, to rate the amenities, I will use my judgment because it depends on so many things, right? The on-site facilities, the amenities nearby, and is it within walking distance, or do you need to take a bus or MRT, etc. So on this one, I will just be subjective. Ideally, I would also want to use the estimated waiting time for these BTOs to be built, but unfortunately, we don't know this information yet, and we'll only know after the projects are fully launched in June. If you want me to release an updated final rating after we have all the information from HDB, please comment down below and give a thumbs up to this video. Let's start with Mo Kio Avenue 1. So, in terms of location, I would rate this project as 2. I know that may come as a surprise, but when I checked using an application, apparently it is just slightly over half an hour to go to the CBD area, and according to Google Map, the nearest MRT station, which is Mayflower, is about 1 kilometer away. So if I stay true to the rating system, then unfortunately I would have to give this project 2 in terms of location. Now, next one regarding the average resale price for a 4-room, I saw a nearby comparison prices is beyond $1 million, so I can give this project 5 stars in terms of potential resale value. However, on the flip side, I'm guessing that this project price would be on the higher end, but probably not the highest, but I think will be quite high. So I would give the estimated starting price is 2 stars for this project. And the next one for amenities, I would give it 3 stars. So obviously, if you are willing to take bus, you would be able to reach more amenities. But the fact is, there are limited amount of amenities within walking distance, and the on-site facilities is only a preschool. So I will give this project 3 stars in terms of amenities. Now, in terms of the number of schools, I counted the number of schools on the map. It's actually surprisingly quite a lot. So I would give it 4 stars in terms of schooling options. If we average the numbers, the average score is 3.2 for Mo Kio Avenue 1 BTO. Next, let's go to Kebun Baru, which is also located at Mo Kio. According to application, this project is also slightly above 30 minutes to go to the CBD area. However, objectively, it is slightly nearer to MRT station. Some people commented on this channel that if you take the shortcut under the existing HDB, then you should be able to reach the MRT station faster. So I would give this project 3 stars in terms of location. In terms of average resale value, well, unfortunately, the HDB nearby the plot is kind of old. So for example, I saw one project recently sold for $635,000. But then if you look at when the HDB was built, it was from 1982. So it's like 40 plus years old HDB. So it wouldn't be fair for me to judge the estimated resale value based on that very old comparison. So I would just assume that if there are any younger HDB around the area, I think it would go for more than 1 million as well. So I'll just give this project 5 stars in terms of potential resale value. In terms of estimated starting price, I would give it 2 stars because I believe it's going to be quite expensive. In terms of amenities, there are some amenities nearby within walking distance, and the on-site facilities is also not bad. For example, it would have an eating house, a mini mart, several shops, preschool, and residence network center. So I would give this project amenities 4 stars. In terms of number of schools, I counted the number of schools on the map, and we can give it 4 stars in terms of number of schools. And the average score for Kebun Baru BTO at Mo Kio is 3.6. Now let's talk about Bishan. Initially, I thought Bishan would be less than half an hour to the CBD area, but according to the Go There application, it is actually slightly above 30 minutes. To be exact, it's like 32 minutes or something. So if we want to stay true with the rating system, then in terms of location, this project only gets a 3 stars. The good thing is that this project is within walking distance to Marymount MRT station, which I think will be very helpful for you to commute around Singapore. And then in terms of average resale price, the highest comparable I could find was $890,000, but then again, it's quite old. So I'll just assume that this project actually will be able to fetch more than $1 million in terms of resale value, assuming there are younger competition nearby at the moment. Now, for estimated starting price, I'm actually guessing that this Bishan BTO would be priced the highest among all. Probably this one and also the other BTO at Keppel or Bukit Merah. I believe these two will be the most expensive, so I will give it 1 star for Bishan BTO. In terms of amenities, I would give it 4 stars. Because the on-site facilities is quite good, it has an eating house, mini mart, several shops, preschool, and resident network center. And again, it is also within walking distance to several shops and eateries. Other than that, of course, you can always take a bus or a short MRT ride to more amenities. So I think it's fair to give this project 5 stars in terms of amenities. Now, in terms of number of schools, initially I thought there will be more school options in Bishan area. But when I calculate the number of schools according to HDB map, actually there's not that many, so I can only give 2 stars in terms of school options. If we average the total score, then it's 3.2 out of 5 scales for Bishan BTO. Now let's talk about the BTO at Bukit Merah. So this project is very exciting for those of you who miss the Berlayar Residence BTO. This is just across the street from that particular BTO. In terms of location, it is slightly under half an hour just to go to the CBD area. So I would give this project 5 stars in terms of location. And obviously, it is also within walking distance to Telok Blangah MRT station. It's even just like 100 meters or something, so it's very close. Obviously, it depends on which block you manage to get, but the point is, it is very close to MRT station, and that's a very good thing. Now, in terms of average resale potential for a 4-room flat, I mean, obviously, it will go beyond $1 million, especially if you manage to get high floors and then with good facing, and if you're lucky enough to get unblocked view, etc. So I'll just put 5 stars in terms of average resale value. And then in terms of estimated starting price, as mentioned before, I am assuming that Bukit Merah and Bishan will be 2 of the most expensive projects being offered in this June BTO. So I will give it 1 star, and it is also based on the prices that was offered in Berlayar Residences BTO. So I'm assuming this June BTO will be just slightly higher versus that number. Now, in terms of amenities, this project will have a lot of options in terms of the on-site facilities, because not only that it will have an eating house and 2 restaurants, several cafes, shops, preschool, and residence network center, but it will also have a supermarket, which is very, very helpful if, let's say, you like to cook at home. But even if you don't like to cook at home, you can just hop on the MRT and then just go to Harbourfront or other places to get more amenities, right? So I'll give it 5 stars in terms of amenities for this project. Now, in terms of number of schools, I've mentioned this before, so this is a watch out for parents with young children. Realistically, there is a limited amount of schools surrounding this project. So even according to HDB map, it's not that many. So I'll give it 2 stars in terms of schooling options. If I average all the numbers, it is 3.6 out of 5 scales for this Bukit Merah BTO. Now let's go to the Woodlands BTO. In terms of location, obviously it's very far from the CBD area, and also it's not really within walking distance to any MRT station. So I would give this project 2 stars in terms of location. In terms of average resale price, I checked and the highest comparable in the area is about $645,000. So I will give this project 2 stars in terms of average resale price. Now, how about estimated starting price? So I'm a bit torn whether I should give Woodlands 3 or 4, but if we just judge based on the previous BTO that was launched around the area, which is somewhere between Marsiling and Woodlands MRT station, right? I think I'll just give the estimated starting price 4 stars for this project. So it should be one of the affordable option, but not the cheapest in the bunch. I think the cheapest option you can find would be the 2 other BTOs in Sembawang. So I think Woodlands is somewhere in the middle, whether it's a 3 or a 4, but just for simplicity, I'll just give this project 4 stars out of 5 in terms of estimated starting price. Now, in terms of amenities, there are several amenities within walking distance, but most likely you would need to take a bus for more options. And in terms of on-site facilities, this project only has a preschool, so I will just give this project 2 stars in terms of amenities. Now, next up for number of schools, so I count the number of schools shown in the HDB map, right? There are plenty, so I could comfortably give this project 5 stars in terms of school options. But that's typical, right? For towns that are far from CBD area and is intended for young families like Woodlands, Sengkang, or Punggol, typically you would be able to find a lot of schools. So also same case with Woodlands. Hence, I'm giving it 5 stars in terms of school options. If we total up the numbers, the average is 3.0 for this Woodlands BTO. Next up, we have the Sembawang North Oaks BTO. In terms of location, obviously, it is about 40 minutes something to the CBD area, so I will give this project 2 stars in terms of location. In terms of average resale value, actually the current nearby resale value is about $580,000 plus. But then again, to be fair, I would have to adjust that rating with the Sembawang Shipyard Transformation Plan in mind, because if that plan push through, it will help to boost the value of any young BTO in the vicinity. So I would just give this project 3 stars in terms of potential resale value. Because without the adjustment, this project actually only deserves like 1 star rating in terms of resale value. But I'll just be optimistic and assume that the Sembawang Shipyard Transformation will push through. So I will give this project 3 stars in terms of potential resale value. Now, in terms of amenities, the reality is this project is very, very far from any MRT station. You would need to rely on feeder buses. And then the amount of amenities within walking distance is also very limited. The on-site facilities for this particular project is not good. So you have to go to the other BTO, which is Sembawang Drive BTO, just across the street to get more on-site facilities. But if we only focus on Sembawang North Oaks BTO, I think it only deserves 1 star in terms of amenities. It is what it is. And then next up, in terms of number of schools, I counted the number of schools nearby. This project deserves 2 stars out of 5 in terms of number of schools. If we average the number, this project gets 2.6 out of 5 scales for Sembawang North Oaks. Now let's move on to the last BTO project in the bunch, which is Sembawang Drive BTO. Now, because the project is literally just across the street from Sembawang North Oaks BTO, hence the ratings are very similar from almost all aspects. The only thing that is different between Sembawang North Oaks and Sembawang Drive is that Sembawang Drive has more on-site facilities, because it will have an eating house, a mini mart, several shops, a preschool, and a residence network center. Hence, I'm keeping all scores the same with Sembawang North Oaks, but the difference is the amenities for Sembawang Drive, I would rate it 2 stars out of 5. This makes the average number for Sembawang Drive is 2.8 out of 5 scales. To recap, let me show the scores side by side so you can easily compare them. The highest is Bukit Merah BTO and it's tied with Kebun Baru at Mo Kio, which is 3.6 out of 5 scales. And then for runner-up, we also have a tie between Mo Kio Avenue 1 and Bishan BTO. And then the lowest score is for Sembawang North Oaks with 2.6. Again, let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to do an updated rating once we have all the information from HDB, such as the actual selling price, the estimated completion date, etc. And if you're wondering whether the war in the Middle East will have any implication on the BTO prices and also the subsidy clawback, please check out my other video in this channel, exclusive for members only. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye! To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!